for the world.
Here at FLO Fitness, and we had a lot of success with our last chalkboard talk, so we decided to do it again this week. And this week's quote is, "Thoughts become things. If you see it in your mind, you will hold it in your hand." And one thing we want to show you here today is the difference between working on the body and working on the mind. Now, we're not psychologists, so I just want to get that out of the way that we're not going to be doing any psychological work. You know, we're not qualified to sit down and do actual sessions. But what we can do is motivate our clients during our sessions to help improve their mind state when they come in. The biggest things I realize in fitness is that a lot of trainers are so focused on the body. And that's what we do. We study the body, we study anatomy, physiology, we study how the body moves, how the body works. And that's extremely important, obviously, because that's our profession. You know, we're dealing with someone's body. But there becomes an issue when the client walks through the door and they come in, they're like in a bad mood. And it happens to all of us. The client walks in and it's like, "Man, what happened to you?" "Oh, this happened at work, this happened with my husband, I was in school and this teacher gave me a failing grade on this, that, and the third." And when they come in that kind of mind state and step into your training facility, a lot of times you can't do anything with them. You know, the client walks in, if they're mentally not there and mentally in a terrible mood, you're not going to get anything out of them. The session's going to probably be a wash, it's going to be a waste. And we've all done it, we're training a client, and the client's just doing it like, "Oh, I hate this," and complaining the whole time. So we have to learn how to have some things to get them out of that mind state. All right, certain motivations, certain things to get them in the right state of mind so you can actually train. All right, because it's hard to train when your mind's not right. Well, that's the bottom line, you know. So one of the pictures we have drawn before, and I want to go back to it now. See, I didn't go to art school, so this is the best I can do. All right, so the body is limited. All right. Now, what I mean by limited, does that mean we shouldn't train somebody because we can't physically get them to do certain things? To a point, the body is limited. Like, we can't fly. We're limited in that aspect. Limitless, the body is limited. All right? Hope I spelled that right. So what I mean by that is, obviously, a person, we can't train someone to fly. You know, we can't train someone to jump from the three-point line and dunk it. It's just probably never going to happen because our physical is so limited. But just by me saying that, you can picture in your head somebody flying. You can picture in your mind somebody jumping from. I'll give you an example. If I tell you right now, I tell you go outside and pick up a car and flip it over. All right, and you know physically you can't do it. You're limited to what you can do physically. You're limited to going outside, picking up a car and just tossing it. But if I tell you imagine yourself doing it, you can see yourself actually flipping the car. It sounds crazy, but right now think about it. Think about you going outside and just, you know, tossing the car over. So you can see that in your head, but you can't do it physically. Example of limitless and limited is that everything happens twice. Everything happens in the mind first and then in physical form. All right, so let's say, for example, FLO Fitness. It was something, a thought that kept like nagging, and all of a sudden became a physical thing. Like you can actually go to a place called FLO Fitness now. I know a lot of people out there probably are dreaming or imagining something happening, and all of a sudden it happens, and you're like, "Oh wow." Now, one thing about your thoughts is you can't control what thoughts come in your mind, but what you can do is control what thoughts you embrace. Okay, so you'll have throughout the day, you'll have things pop in your head like, "Oh, I can't do this, I can't do this." So you got to toss that thought out. Just don't embrace it. That's really all right. So I just want to give you a quick little thing we do here at FLO Fitness with our clients. There's a website that a good friend of mine, Frank Peter, told me about, and it's called simpletruths.com. Simpletruths.com. And we get a ton of books from there. And they're not books like they're not give people novels to read, but they're simple little books that have about, 40, 50 pages, a lot of pictures, just motivational quotes to get them focused on their goals and what they want to achieve. One of the ones we have for our teen athletes is Finish Strong for teen athletes. And again, it's just filled with different stories they can read, one story a night before they go to bed. And that's what we usually tell them to do. Is before you go to sleep, pick up the book, read the story, and it'll help them get plant that seed in their mind while they're laying down, while they're sleeping, like, "Oh, I can do it, I can do it." Here is 212. This is a great book. This is one of the first ones I got that Frank had told me about. And we give this again to the clients when they come in. With different levels we have the 5 levels of flow. We have different books for each level that we'll give the clients. And this is a second level book. And what they do is they'll read this. This was another book, What It Takes to Be Number One. And it talks about Coach Lombardi and all the stuff that he did with his athletes to help them achieve greatness. Just little things that we'll give the clients to help them, again, stay motivated and get in here, the limitless part of the body. Hope you guys got the point driven home. that limitless, limited, get your mind right, and the body will follow. If you need to work on the body, however, here's a place you probably want to go, stopchasingpain.com. My boy, Doc Perry. Thanks for the talk. See you next week with our Chalk Talk. FLO Fitness.